Oh, hi. I'm just sad. There's only 2 episodes left, and then the season's gonna be over. I just wish there was some way we could. Yes! Yes! Thank you so much. I can. What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is Criminal Minds Evolution Season 2, Episode 7 Piranha. So, I, of course, just so happened to choose to eat lunch during this episode. What a mistake. Yeah, the case in this one was not focused on Gold Star at all. It's random serial killer. And very gross. Melting bodies, dissolving them. Got to see a lot of that. Had a guy throw up because he saw the dead corpse of this guy's wife. And yeah, seeing the corpses as well. Delicious, right? But the case, it was fine. I thought it was a well-written case. I thought it was very well set up. It's not something we haven't seen before on Criminal Minds, and I even had the thought about it, I think about halfway through, right before he kidnapped the last guy and brought him in. Because when he saw the wife, but it did seem like he was reacting to some of what she was saying, but we now know he was just reacting to her corpse. But I had that thought, though, that she was actually dead and he wasn't hearing her. He was just hearing her in his mind. The fact that the baby was also dead was that was a little bit of a twist I was not expecting, because that was extra dark. Yeah, so the case, fun enough, but definitely not something I haven't seen before. I remember there was the one episode where the kid was killing at his mother's request, but then at the end of the episode we see she's been dead for a while, clearly. But the other part of this episode, which was part of the main story, was Prentice and Tyler going to get Jill to come in, Gideon's wife. I thought it was fine. Some good moments in there, some well done moments, some comedic moments as well that I think, as I was saying in the last episode review that I did, the comedy, if it gets too goofy, I'm not a big fan of it. But when they have these comedic moments that feel in character and they feel sort of real, I enjoy those a lot more. And this was one of those episodes where some of the reaction between Prentice and Jill was really well done. And I think they did get some good laughs out of me as well, which really helped. As far as the story behind her, I mean, it makes sense why she doesn't want to come in, but it also makes sense why Prentice is trying to get her in there, because she is one of the few people that would be able to help in this situation. So I don't know exactly where this is going to go. I feel like the next episode is going to be really focused on Rossi maybe coming to grips with the fact that she's there, since seemingly they had maybe a romantic history before she ended up marrying Gideon. But outside of that, this story didn't really have much to it. It really was just building up for Jill coming in, and you kind of figured she was going to. There was one little side story with Voight talking to his lawyer and asking him to dig up a case, which of course he tells him not to open it. The guy immediately opens it. I don't understand. Why tell him to not open it when you know he's just going to open it when you tell him not to? Like, doesn't make any sense. But it just shows Voight is still trying to make these moves from behind bars. He's still trying to keep in control of this situation with Damien and whatever he's trying to accomplish. So that's kind of the thing that I'm most excited to see more of, but we'll see where it's going to go from here. But that about does it for this episode, to be honest. It was not a whole lot to talk about in this one. It was all just either pretty good stuff I've seen before or stuff that I'm waiting to see where it's going to go next in the next episode. So with all that being said, we'll move on. I'll see you guys there in a sec. And now, episode 8, North Star. Whew, that was definitely a very emotional ending. And we'll say I kind of predicted it. I didn't say anything on here, and I know me saying that I predicted this when I didn't actually say it anywhere in any of my previous reviews probably sounds like me just going, I'm so smart, I knew this was good. But I did have an idea, especially after Jade talked about the idea of she doesn't want to go back. That's when it clicked in my mind in this episode. It was she was going to kill him at some point. Because the seeds had already been planted. I already had an idea that she was probably going to become the main focus going like for the end of the season. Because I mean, obviously Damien kind of started off this season with his kills. The way they were building up Jade in some of the episodes, and Elias at some point, even I can't remember exactly how he put it, but basically it seems like she needs Damien to survive. But he points out, I think because of the tattoos on her arm, she doesn't need anybody to survive. And so when that first started, that's when the idea kind of started popping into my head. So in this episode, she brings up the idea of, I don't want to go back. If it ever gets to a point where I'm about to be captured, just take me out. As soon as she said that, in my mind, all I could think was, I feel like he's going to get captured and she's going to have to take him out. I didn't think it was going to be in this episode, but that is ultimately what happened. The fact that Jill manages to get through to him, though, and convinces him to initially turn himself in, I don't know when that changed. Maybe in his mind, maybe knowing Jill was there, just seeing the red dot from her gun. Maybe for some reason in his mind, he flipped back to what he has been so far this season, the protector. And so in his mind, he's like, well, I got to keep her safe. So he figures the best way to do that is to have her kill him. But there still are a lot of questions. I mean, Jill did talk about some of the psychology that went into what they did at Stewart House and how they broke these kids down and how they made Damien kill his father and all of that. But there still are a lot of questions as far as who was doing this, why were they doing this, what was their goal, outside of just controlling these kids. Why would they want to do that? So I don't know if we're going to start to get maybe a picture of who's behind all of this. Maybe they're saving that for season 3, and this is more so just focused on these kids. But the entity that created these kids is going to be maybe the villain for next season. I don't know. I did see, because I was looking up on IMDb some of the actors in this one, and I did see that apparently they've been renewed up until season 19, so that would be season 4 of Evolution. So I'm kind of surprised about that. I did not think that this show was going to continue that long. I'm excited because I like what they're doing, and I don't know how they're going to build upon the story, because it does feel like its own thing. This does not feel like Criminal Minds, where you have this one story that you focus on for a season, and then next season maybe you'll continue it a little bit, but it'll probably wrap up in 1 or 2 seasons. It's not going to be something that sticks around for multiple seasons. This feels like it's all based on Elias Voigt. It starts with him, this network that he's created. Technically, this is something different, but it's still something connected to him. He's still the one that helps these kids start this revenge mission. And he's helping them now from behind the scenes by having his lawyer do all this stuff to help get them to where they need to go, get them the answers they want to get. So I just don't know how much longer you can continue this idea, this story with Voigt. So I just don't know how much longer you can continue this idea of Voigt and what he's doing in his network. So the fact they're going 4 seasons off of this, I don't know if that means Voigt is going to at some point drop out of the show, or maybe they just have enough of an idea of how they're going to continue this that they're thinking, yeah, we can do this in 2 more seasons at least. But whatever the case, this episode, outside of the stuff with Damien and Jill and Jade and all of that stuff, we did also have a little bit with Tyler and Rebecca working together to track down the lawyer. Can't remember his name now, because you know how I am with names. But it was okay to a point. Yeah, this is probably the most competent that I've seen Rebecca on this show, because obviously I've had an issue with her as a character since season 1. So there were some good moments with her and Tyler working together, and a couple of funny moments as well, since she clearly does not really trust him, but she knows he's the best option to get the job done. But most of their scenes were perfectly fine. I think the only one that didn't work for me was the end, where both of them said the same thing at the same time, and Tara was like, "Ooh, look at you two twinning." And it was a weird line. It was weirdly reacted to. It felt like a sitcom moment, and like I've said, I don't think sitcom humor works in a show like this one. Other than that, it's a very solid episode. The stuff with Rossi and Jill and how they're connected and how the story between them and Gideon kind of played out in the past, a lot of that I thought was very well handled. A lot of it makes sense knowing these characters. Obviously we don't know Jill very well, but knowing Gideon, knowing Rossi, and how they both operate, it does make sense that things would play out this way with her in the middle of the two, kind of. Only 2 episodes left. I have no idea, honestly, how this is all going to come to an end. There's still 2 other members of Gold Star, or I guess 2 other of these kids, because Gold Star is technically not the kids, it's the program, but whatever. There are 2 other kids that we still have yet to meet. I don't know if it's going to be anybody that we've met already, or if they're just going to pop up in the next couple episodes, or maybe they won't pop up at all, and that'll be a season 3 story. But I don't know if they're all going to be connected to each other or not. I do think, though, if the rest of this story is just focused on the FBI trying to track down Jade, while maybe Voight's trying to give her a helping hand from his prison cell, I think if that's going to be the whole story for these last 2 episodes, it might not be that interesting. So I'm assuming we're at least going to meet one other member of these kids. Probably they're either involved somehow or Jade is going to get them involved. Whatever the case, I'm definitely excited for these final 2. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on these 2 episodes? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Criminal Minds Evolution reviews. Also check out the channel, we have a lot of other reviews on here as well as some Let's Plays, so check those out if you have time. But until next time, hope you guys have a great day. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace out.